He is actively working to promote peace and unity in between the different religious communities on the basis of scriptural similarities. He is presently working as the Director of Research at Keshav Memorial Institute of Technology. He is the founder and managing trustee of Vishwa Yoga Vidya Peeth, and he also conducts classes on yoga. He has written several books on yoga. He is also retired Director General of the NIC. Dr. C S R Prabhu has also written a lot of books on computer sciences, and he conducts frequent visits abroad. Recently, he was in Australia to lecture the people, and he is actively promoting Dharma Yoga as well. So, I would like to take this opportunity to request Dr. C S R Prabhu to enlighten us with the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita and Dharma Yoga. Sir will speak to us for approximately 45 minutes, and then we'll have a question answer session, which we can have maybe immediately after his speech or after Mushtakh and sir's speech. Okay? Dr. C S R Prabhu.
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. So this morning I am starting with the salutations to all the teachers, right from the creator onwards up till today. All our teachers, including our gurus, whether it is my guru or your guru or Prophet Muhammad or Jesus or Moses or Krishna or Buddha, all gurus, all are gurus, going back up to the creator himself. So this is the sloka I chanted, because we are here today because of the kindness and grace of our gurus. Otherwise we will be totally ignorant. Now if you look at the dawn of civilization, you will find that going back in time 5,000 years, we have Mahabharata war, we have Lord Krishna delivering Bhagavad Gita. If we go back even more, Lord Rama was there in Ayodhya and he went to Sri Lanka. And if you go even before that, you will have teachers like Dattatreya or Dakshinamurti, Shiva, and so on. So in the whole world, what was the original dharma? If you look at the history, in the Upanishads there is a record that the ancestors of Rama, like Harishchandra and Dilip, Suryavamsha emperors, they ruled all countries in the world. Most of the globe was forest, but wherever civilizations were there, they were ruled under the Surya Vamsha kings, the ancestors of Rama. This record is there, I have seen it myself in the Upanishads. This is, we are talking about 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 years back. So as time progressed, the connection with the original revelation, the Vedas, got diluted because of the changes in the language. From the Vedic Sanskrit, we had the Zendavest. From Zendavest, we had Persian, Arabic, on the other side Greek, Latin, French, and finally English. And in India, it is from the Vedic Sanskrit came normal Sanskrit, for which Valmiki is the first poet. And from that came Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, and all these languages. So because of the dilution of the language, the connectivity with the scriptures was lost. As a result, the people in Egypt or in Iraq or in Iran or in China, they didn't have the Vedas after a long time. They were just worshipping without any scripture. They were worshipping sun, worshipping moon, worshipping Jupiter. In Rome also, in Egypt also, in Mecca also, and also worshipping goddess of knowledge, Saraswati, goddess of wealth, Lakshmi. In Rome also, in India also, in other places also. But only in India, the connectivity is not lost. The continuity is maintained. Because from the Vedic Sanskrit came the normal Sanskrit, Ramayana's Valmiki Sanskrit, and then that became Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi and all these different languages over time. And the Acharyas, like we have the Adi Shankaracharya, and we have Ramanujacharya, we have Madhvacharya, we have so many Acharyas, who made sure that the connectivity with the Vedas continued in India. But outside India, they never went. So outside India, there is a serious problem. Buddhism spread most of the world, China and Vietnam and Cambodia, everywhere. It continued there, whereas in India, Buddhism is completely gone, except for the revival now by Dr. Ambedkar. So the scriptural, philosophical, theological basis of the religious practices or the understanding that was required to know the supreme power behind the nature, behind the forces of nature, behind the devatas or behind the idols was not understood properly outside India. But it is not the case in India. In India, all the devotees, till yesterday we had Ganesh Chaturthi, all the devotees who came to Tangband for Ganesh Chaturthi, they all know very well, because they have only immersed the idol into the water, that the idol is not God, they know it. That's why they have immersed into the water. They also know that Ganesh is nothing but Om, Parabrahman, is nothing but Allah, nothing but Ishwar. And they also know that Durga is also nothing but Ishwar. They also know that Vishnu is also. That understanding is maintained in India because of the Acharyas, whereas outside India it was lost. As early as 3000 years BC and 4000 BC and so on. So in Egypt, sun was worshipped mainly, and also Jupiter and other planets. And the priests were there, just like Brahmins. And similarly in Iran, fire was worshipped as God, the Zoroastrians. And in Iraq, we had various gods and goddesses, just like what Hindus have today, without the understanding of oneness behind multiplicity, behind nature, behind idol worship. What is that one supreme power is not understood in those countries. So I would look at the proposition that these religions, Judaism, Christianity and in Islam, all the three are more or less based on monotheism, hard monotheism, strong monotheism, were kind of a revivalism to the link to the original Vedas. This is what the main proposition is. Because this fact was emphasized by Arya Samaj founder Dayanand Saraswati, who has rejected the Puranas and rejected the idol worship and rejected multiple devatas and interpreted the Vedas only purely in terms of single power, single God. So that is more or less same as the Islamic interpretation. And I have written research papers showing the connection between multiple devatas and single God. Are they really different or same? Because even if you take single God monotheism, Allah or Ishwar or Om or Parabrahman, whatever you call it by name, or God in Christianity, how will it manifest? God cannot manifest as God. God manifests through various forms. Like if you take sun, without sun there cannot be any life on earth. Suppose there is no sun at all, even for 10 days, then everybody will die. Without sunlight, life cannot sustain. If there is no water, life cannot sustain. If there is no earth, life cannot sustain. So all these are devatas. They are not the supreme Parabrahman, but they are small parts, manifestations of the Parabrahma. So in the Vedas and in Puranas and in Bhagavad Gita also, these are different devatas are taken as small parts or windows to the ultimate. Because ultimate cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be tasted or cannot be talked about. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. You cannot even think. So what you can see is only sun, moon, earth, air, water. And what you can see is your mother, your father. Without your mother and your father, you are not there. So Matru Devo Bhava. It doesn't mean mother is Om Parabrahman, but it only means mother is God for you, for the child, not for all people. So similarly, Pitru Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava. Teacher is God for that student, not for all other people. So it is a relative respect, not only that much. It is not saying that it is same as the ultimate Omkar Parabrahman or Allah or Ishwar. This distinction has to be understood. Once it is understood, there is no confusion because these are all small windows to the same. I can have one window here, I can have one window there, but I am seeing same thing outside. I can see in from any window with any glass, green or white or yellow or whatever. So the truth is only one. Ekam sat vipra bhavudha varnanti indram mitram varunam matrishvam supernova garutman. The Rigveda itself says the devatas of Rigveda, Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Garutman, Suparna, all these individual devatas are only one ultimately. Ekam sat vipra bhavudha varnanti. Only scholars will describe in different identifications. So now coming to the idol worship, there is no idol worship in the Vedas, there is no idol worship in the Upanishads, there is no idol worship in the Bhagavad Gita also. It came later. All the Bhagavad Gita is around 5,000 years back, and this came later for the sake of attracting the children and other people who cannot understand any philosophical discussion. Like small children there, if you show an idol in a temple and say that is God, they will believe. But no adult will believe. Even all the adults going to Birla Mandir, they know very well that there is only idol but not God. They know very well. But that idol is not ordinary idol. It is a window to God. The linga, Shiva linga, if you say, linga means a symbol, an indicator. Suppose I have an ID card. Suppose I go to the airport. Suppose I say, I am C S R Prabhu. I am a great man. I gave a lecture in Bashir. They will not allow me inside. They will ask, where is your ID card? You may be anybody. You may be Narendra Modi also. You show your ID card. So ID card is idol. The idol is getting greater importance than the original personality. Please realize this point. So the idol is nothing but a representation of the original. Linga of Shiva. Shiva is God. The indication of Shiva is Shiva Linga. It is only just a cylinder. If you take the whole universe, the basic unit is a point. If you stretch the point in 2 dimensions, it will become a 1 dimension, it will become a straight line. In 2 dimensions, it will become a square, triangle. When you rotate triangle, you will get a square. When you rotate square, you will get a circle. When you project the circle, you will get a cylinder. That is what Shivalinga is all about. Cylinder or sphere, doesn't matter, both are same for linga. All Shivalingas are in the same form. It is an indication of creation process, God's indication, that's all. There is no idol there. When it comes to other idols also, it is just a depiction. Like if you take Saraswati, who is Saraswati? Is nothing but knowledge. If you want to depict knowledge, you keep a book, you keep one veena for music knowledge, and you keep one mala for mantra japa knowledge. All knowledge forms are together. Instead of calling it a man, we put it as a woman because it is subtle and delicate. If it is harsh and strong, then it will become a man, like Himalaya. Himalayas are man, and Ganga is woman. So it is just a poetic description. What is called Alankar, Rupaka Alankar. So it should not be confused with the ultimate Parabrahman, because in the Upanishads, in the Vedas and in the Bhagavad Gita, the truth is brought out very clearly, and all Hindus know this. Please remember this. Except small children, all Hindus know this ultimate truth. They know that the idol is not God. They know that multiple devatas are not the ultimate God, but they look at them as windows to the ultimate. If you understand this, then there is no fight between Hindus and Muslims or Christians. If you don't understand it, then there is always a fight. Now coming to the presentation, what I am trying to do with the help of my close friend Mr. Mushtakh Ahmad, I am very lucky to have met him through this NGO. He has great knowledge in Quran and Arabic as well as in Sanskrit and Bhagavad Gita. That is something very rare. Because I don't know Arabic, I don't know Quran, so I am depending on him for that part. And I have studied Bible in childhood also because I was in 7th Adventist school. Now I have been studying all the scriptures of the world for the last 50-60 years. I am now crossed 65. At the age of 8, I know whole of Bhagavad Gita by heart. And at the age of 12, I studied the Sanskrit grammar, Mushtakh. Then after that, I translated many books into English from Sanskrit. So after studying all these books, not only within India, I mean I have studied most of the texts in Sanskrit like Upanishads, part of the Vedas and the Puranas and Gita I know by heart, and almost all the important texts I have studied. And then I also studied Bible. Then I have studied Quran in a limited scale because I don't know Arabic. Then what I understood is they are all telling the same thing. How and why they are telling the same thing is what I am going to show today. I have taken many slides from Mr. Mushtakh only. They are not my slides. Only at the end I have put my own slides. So in Henry Martin Institute in Shivrampalli, they conduct interfaith dialogues. So I attended many interfaith dialogues representing Hinduism. I gave many lectures, more than 25-30 lectures, both in Kolkata and Hyderabad and other places. Then I realized that the ultimate truth is the same. It is being interpreted in different ways in different scriptures. Sometimes even it is not different, it is exactly same. I can show you exactly same words between Bhagavad Gita, Bible and Quran. Exactly same words, exactly same thoughts. Why is it like that? We'll come to that question why later. First let us go through the... So as to reach unity, we require the mutual understanding and moralization and unity possible through acceptance of each other, not just acceptance but even oneness, to reach oneness. Now when you have a lot of differences, there will be conflict. When you realize the oneness, there will be harmony and unity and happiness. So how to reach that oneness? Even though there are differences, how to reach that oneness? So now this is a very important slide. This statement there which says that there are many scriptures, not just one. Not just the Holy Quran, one alone, but there are many scriptures before the Holy Quran was delivered. And that's what the Quran itself says. And why is it saying that? If Quran was adequate, why is it saying this? Next. So it is showing that multiple places it is mentioned that there are other scriptures, the original scriptures, which contain the same knowledge which is given in the later scriptures. And what is that knowledge? Other scriptural references. Now you can see how the Quran teachings and other scriptures are mentioned, and similarly it is mentioned in Bible also, and in the Gita also. Just now in the prayer, the girl there sang that sloka in the Gita. That also we'll start with that. So there is a lot of commonality. I have sent this presentation to a lot of people. I have given this presentation to the Archbishop of Canterbury, who came to Hyderabad last week on 5th. I met him personally, I gave this presentation. And I spoke, I was the only Hindu speaker, all others were Christians and Muslims. Next. So now you see, right. Yeah. Go to the next, yeah. We'll start here. Tasmat Shastram Pramanamte Karya Karya Vyavasthito Shastra Vidhanoktum Karma Kartum Viharasi. This is what was sung in the prayer also. This is a statement from the Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter. After covering all the 17 chapters, he says at the end, you shall follow the book, the Shastra. There are many Shastras, there are hundreds of thousands of Shastras, but Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be the ultimate Shastra. Eko Shastro Devaki Putra Gita, Eko Mantro Devaki Putra Nama. So one Shastra, Gita Shastra, is adequate. Instead of studying hundreds and hundreds of Shastras which are there, it is a summary of all Shastras, not only Shastras, but by Vedas also. So the same statement you can see in the slide, mentioned in the Quran and in the Holy Bible, that you shall follow the scripture. Now, the biggest mistake that has been happening all these centuries is to imagine that the other side are wrong, only I am right. Everybody thinks all other scriptures are bogus and all other gurus are bogus, only I am correct and my scripture is correct. Unfortunately, whatever is there in my scripture, it is already there in the other scriptures. And whatever I am teaching, same thing others are also teaching. But if I understand, if I have the patience, or if I give up the arrogance, because it's arrogance that is the problem, not only between religions, between gurus also. Every guru, every sadhu, sannyasi, he will try to prove that all others are wrong and only he is correct, and his disciples should follow only him and nobody else. Within a religion also, within Hinduism also this is happening, within Islam also it may happen, within Christianity also it may happen. If you go to Kumbh Mela, there are thousands and thousands of lakhs of sannyasis, sadhus who come there. Everybody will say this, I am correct and others are wrong. Because that is nothing but ego, the arrogance. So here what we are trying to achieve in this meeting and in this book, Dharma Yoga, which we are writing together jointly, is to show that such an interpretation is completely false. It is the same thing which is being mentioned in other books. Because if you say, suppose I read a textbook on mathematics in Telugu. If you go to Telugu Academy, they will give you a textbook in mathematics in Telugu. And if you go to Tamil Nadu Academy, they will give you mathematics in Tamil. Is mathematics same or different? The language is different, but mathematics is same. Syllabus is same. In the same way, it is in Arabic, it is in Sanskrit, or it is in English. You have to look at the contents and not the.
बच्चे बाहर ले जाओ मजरा.
You should not look at the language, you should look at the essence, the content. So similarly, ya shastra mutsrujya kante kamakarataha